If you missed our free screening and panel discussion of our original docu-series, Cities in Crisis, Youth Violence, please log on to our Facebook page for updates, photos, and information about future events in your town. You can also download your own copy of the powerful pilot episode from your favorite digital platform.
The docu-series Cities in Crisis examines the ongoing issue of violence among Black youth in Jersey City. Community activists, educators, and rap artists share their thoughts about the problem and the solutions. Take a look.
We are in a state of emergency.
Once you have hopelessness, then you have disparities that will cause desperation. When you have desperation, you'll have things that will cause violence.
How important are events like this for the city?
This event is like, it brings a village together. It shows the reality of what's happening, not from other people's eyes, it's from our eyes. So the community that's in a crisis, which is Jersey City right now, the people that are going to be here are the people who are in a crisis. So to see take a step back and look like, wow, we are in crisis. It brings people together to say, okay, we see where we are, now let's move forward and take a stand to make our city much better.
Well, I saw your movie, and I think it's a positive one because it talks about teens and kids and violence in communities throughout different parts of the country, and it's a global, it's a national and a global problem.
Killing is what's keeping everybody in fear. Nobody wants to lose their lives over, something petty.
It sounds simple, right? It's very hard. You know the reason why I think that is so hard? Because education is the key, it's paramount. Long as the kids can see it, they're gonna be able to achieve it. Long as you can mimic it, you're gonna live it. We have to start giving our kids a different view than what they're seeing. Because long as you see it, and you see it long enough, you mimic it, then you achieve it. As you see the film, they fighting, beating up everybody, knocking old people out while they're not looking.
You never know what your friend's getting into, because my son had a 6 o'clock curfew in my house. When he went to his father's house, it was different there. But anyway, he went to that party, and on his way home, some gang members approached my son and several friends. 4 shots was fired, and my son was the only one that went down. And these people that called themselves my son's friend wasn't his friend, because whilst my son lay there dying, nobody thought to call 911. They were undressing my son for his Yankees hat, his Jordans, his cellular phone. So that wasn't friendship. And for these young people in the audience, everybody is not your friend.
We have a docu-series playing tonight. It pertains to youth violence. What are your thoughts about the youth violence that's going on today?
Oh, it's sick, man. They need some guidance in my eyes. And what other better places to come for is brothers like us, brothers that grew up and made a change and on a different path.
What we found is that children are like, I'm not calling them animals, they're like rams, and they're going to bump heads. And it's either give them something to do, or they'll find something else. They'll find something to do on their own. And what we did was we gave them basketball to keep them busy. Back in 2006, when there were 3 weeks of our youth shot and killed on the front page of the Jersey Journal every day, we asked the kids down in Booker T projects, who happened to be in the middle of all the ruckus at the time, they were beefing with Montgomery. And we asked the kids whether or not they wanted to play basketball or shoot each other. And they made a decision to play basketball.
I spent 10 years of my life in federal prison, 1 year in the state. So I've been released from prison since 2002. Have no intentions on going back. What I did was flip the game. Now I prepare people to go to prison. Most of my clients are entertainers, athletes, white-collar criminals from the Wall Street area. But nothing warms my heart more than to speak to the youth. Never forget who you are. When a person can erase your identity, anyone can program you to be someone or believe you are someone who you are not. Whether it's a gangbanger, whether it's a bully, whether you decide to take pleasure and become desensitized to violence, none of that can happen if you know and understand who you are.
What came out of that was creativity, right? So my thing when I was growing up was I went to PS 157, PS 150, and in 3rd grade in my school, they had a program where they would take the young people to the boys club on Hoe Avenue. And what we do is, it was the police officers that taught us how to swim. So we learned how to swim at the boys club. And from that point on, I met my first MC partner, Donald D. And like, so the things that I loved about school was I played the trumpet, and also I sang and played congos. So each year you had, at the end of the school year, you had a presentation of what you learned in your either singing class or, you know, in your music class. So we had, school was exciting, right? From arts and craft, learning. One of the most important things to me in school was getting to school first. I always wanted to be at that school door first. So I always like to be on time.
What can we do as a community to help prevent youth violence?
I think the first thing to do is to not be scared. I know it sounds funny to say not be scared, but like the sister was saying here, we're talking about kids. Like, I've literally seen adults on the train physically shrink away in fear because 4 or 5 kids were wilding out, making a lot of noise, being disruptive. And I'm a skinny dude, I'm nobody's tough guy, but just like I said to some of the young men sitting here in the audience, hey man, you're being a little disruptive. People can't hear the movie. Kid looked at me, oh, okay. It's as simple as that.
Let's talk about the mentality of young offenders and why they engage in violence.
Mentality. Well, working in a female prison, state prison, the only female prison in the state of New Jersey. There are a lot of young girls that come in. We had a 12-year-old come in. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison. 20 years, 12 years old. Wow. She's been basically the best years of her life in prison. Now, she may be 32 when she gets out, but her mindset is going to be 42.
Where are the politicians? Where are the people that control the money? How come they ain't in it? To hear what your issues are. To hear what our issues are. How come they're not here? But they'll be here to make the campaign speech. So you need to start thinking of who you putting in office.
I know that kids don't want to be preached to 24/7, but I do think that hip hop right now kind of lacks balance. Where you do have to entertain, I understand that, but there should all the great artists have a balance of music. DMX is probably one of the roughest artists that I've ever listened to in my life, but he also had prayers at the end of every album. You know, so I'm always going to try to raise the level of consciousness, because what I see every day, how could I ignore that? How could you be an artist but always be negative and be kind of like an antagonist and always approach music? Because half the stuff that's out is not music now anyway. People want to imitate Jay-Z and what he did in the 90s, but what they forget that is Jay-Z is a poet. They see the hustle side of him, but they don't understand that Nas, Jay-Z, Big, all these people were poets.
And so when you refuse to accept something, then you're willing to do something about it. But the second thing is that, when you see somebody that you know that has potential, then you really need to reach out to them. So again, thank you. I applaud you all for participating in this event. I thank you for coming back and remembering from what you came as well.
And this screening of this Cities in Crisis is a big part of the process and a step in the right direction that we all can participate in. And coming together, and this is a series, so the concern is that we have this today, but we're hoping that in a month or two we'll have it at another site, Because we invited everyone in the city here, but there are some people in some parts of the city afraid to come up here. And so we have to address that. That's a part of the process. It's a part of the problem in terms of things that are going on. How do we end violence? End hopelessness. That's a very simple statement. And it's not that simple. But it is. Because how do we end hopelessness? By increasing the number of jobs that are available to the people in the community. How do we end hopelessness? By providing resources, more resources, and eliminating inequities. How do we end hopelessness? We have to have government jobs that are being made available based upon pathways that organizations and systems provide that will allow students to gain the skills to be able to get those government jobs, and jobs in the hospitals, and jobs in the schools, because those are stable jobs. Those are jobs that will be around for a while. Those are jobs that you can feed your family and take care of, of the things that you need to take care of in terms of promoting longevity with your family. But that's what's required. And we have to be the ones that provide the voice to make those things happen.
I love that the mission is to resolve it. That's the great thing. And I think communication is the best way to resolution.
So, the moment we've been waiting for, we're going to get on with the film, Cities in Crisis.
We all agreed tonight, all of the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only
if you would like to volunteer for the next Cities in Crisis live event, contact us on our Cities in Crisis Facebook page or contact us on our website, rapentertainment.com.